ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Welcome back. This is Arlene.
This is Grace.
And you are still with us on our ASEAN Daily. This time we will focus on the social, cultural and trends in Southeast Asia. So Grace, let's move on to more.
Sure.
So, the first news today about social culture that I want to highlight is in Malaysia, there's a Melbourne priest. His name is Peter Grasby, and he is quote-unquote pursuing young Asian men while on paid leave. And I think this guy is actually a pedophile. Why? It's so funny, but it's
the way how he introduced him was quite like a documentary style. Well, it's very interesting because not many people they are aware of this incident or this man even, and in fact he is a priest and someone there who we give our respect to, and it's quite a surprise if he really is a pedophile and then has been doing a lot of child sexual abuse allegations and also other activities. And now he is using a gay dating website to seek his company of a young Asian man.
My God. And I mean, my biggest question is, where is our Malaysian authority? This should be alerted to all Southeast Asian authority, in fact. I mean, Southeast Asia, a lot of the people here are vulnerable towards such predator. And I think it's important for us to actually talk about this and be alerted.
Yes.
So his name is Father Grasby. I don't even want to call him father in this case. He's a former parish priest at St. Mary Magdalene in Jordanville near Chadstone, was placed on administrative leave for the position when he was accused of abusing a boy aged 10 to 14 in another parish more than 3 decades earlier. He was also accused in a Victorian parliamentary inquiry of allowing boys to sleep in his former priestery at St. Michael in North Melbourne, and of surrounding himself with a concerning number of young Vietnamese boys at St. Mary Magdalene.
To be honest, this is very worrisome.
It is worrisome.
Because he's supposed to be the example of everyone. But also, he says on his profile that he's not here to looking for sex, but he's getting a bit too old to get hard, apparently.
Oh my God.
He's just looking for companies, young companies that he can just, enjoy his life with. But as much as he wants to cover up by saying all that, but there are so many proofs and materials that he's been accessing to, such as the gay website or other materials, by inviting all those young men over to his place to do some activities, and that's already abusing the boys.
I mean, the worst thing is he's so active in a gay dating website. It's called Planet Tromeo. I never heard of it before. And according to his profile, he has traveled to Kuching, a city in eastern Malaysia considered more liberal than much of the Islamic country, on January 23rd. And he said on his profile that he is a 66-year-old Catholic who happens to like younger Asian men, aged from 18 to 35, but is not on here looking for sex because he's getting a bit too old to get hard.
Exactly.
Like what you say.
Yeah, exactly. And it is something, I don't know whether it's acceptable in the name of this religion. And then, like I said, as much as he wants to cover up, it's already done. Whatever he's done is done.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong being gay or being, a gender that is not necessarily woman or man.
Right.
But I feel that it's really scary when he would simply abuse younger children, especially boys.
Of course.
And in fact get away from it and I think something needs to be done to address this.
So perhaps just the name or the position being a priest could be just a cover-up.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, I'm just speculating. But however, even though he is a foreigner, getting permission to do his missions here in Malaysia, when it is confirmed that he's been doing that kind of activities, it needs to be under investigation to be fair and have a sort of judgment saying that this man is a priest, but he's been doing other activities which is against this religion. Perhaps it needs to be really confirmed on his activities.
Yeah. So hopefully something has been done or is underway to at least ensuring that kids in Kuching area are not being abused unintentionally. But just to expand a bit, this is not a unique news because they are to be believed that 30 priests, half of whom were convicted of child sex crimes and other half who are confirmed abusers but were not convicted, are being given financial support by the Archdiocese. And in 2014, during a hearing of the Royal Commission into the institutional responses to child sexual abuse, the Archdiocese announced that it would conduct an independent review of the Melbourne response, but nothing has been released, no feedback has been given yet. So it's a bit too slow, to be honest. Another issue that is also plaguing Southeast Asia and is kind of common in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore is female genital cutting, or short for FGM or FGC. And this is according to the Unicef recent reports finding that female genital cutting is actually common in Indonesia.
Well, of course, you had this topic to talk about before, but I want to ask you, what is your perspectives when it comes to this procedure in Southeast Asia?
Well, that's the thing. It's not as severe as what you would experience in Africa, where they completely remove the female sexual organ, the whole genital area, clitoris area. Then, but it's actually quite I would say simple and not really that bad. It's just a few pricks or a scrape that won't really harm the kid, but the risk is still there.
Right.
And I think for parents to actually pay people to do it for no reason, in fact is baseless even in religion, shows that it's just a waste of time, a waste of money. I don't think parents should even get involved in it in the first place.
I'm wondering what is the real reason behind sending their daughters or anyone under this procedure. And in fact, a lot of them in Southeast Asia, especially Indonesia, almost half the women are estimated to have this undergone it already. And of course, there are evidence of the practice there, but United Nations Children's Fund estimated that 60 million women and girls there have been cut based on the national survey data, and the addition of Indonesia is largely responsible for raising this global tally of women and girls who have undergone practices to 200 million from 130 million.
Yeah,
it's quite a lot.
And they know the practice existed, but they didn't have a sense of the scope. This is according to Claudia Kappa, a specialist for Unicef, which released the report. She said the new data from Indonesia show that the cutting was not just an African problem. Definitely it's not. But the thing is, how do you curb such problem? Because it's not as severe as the African problem, and it's not even such a big issue in the first place. I mean, there are greater human rights and political issue that needs to be solved in Indonesia, Malaysia, and even Singapore. So the question is, people would often ask, like, it's not a big issue. Why need to raise it in the first place?
Right.
But to me, it is an issue on its own. I mean, at the end of the day, according to the Indonesian report, that 49% of girls aged 11 and younger has undergone female circumcision, mostly as infants, and more than half of the procedures were performed by midwives or other health professionals. And the practice is regarded as part of their culture culture or a confirmation that they will be officially Islamized. I mean, in a way, they see it as a form of baptization.
Yeah, exactly.
Baptism, yeah. But I don't see it that way. I mean, I think it's just a cultural thing that people want to put like a milestone, I've done this, that means I've become more Islamic.
I guess so. I think I can agree with that extent because it is a family or the cultural tradition that they've been practicing and perhaps also an Islamic obligation. But they can't. Not many people can name, or even nobody can name any verses in Quran about the female circumcision in this case.
Yeah.
So it could be just a culture that once it's done, then you have been Islamized already. That you can go further for another practice.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's move on to another news, and this time we are going to focus on Valentine's Day. As we all know, this year it falls on a weekend, which is kind of awesome. That means a lot of couples will be able to celebrate it. But Thailand government goes one step further.
Nice.
For other governments, they will probably ban it. I can see Malaysian government actually would shy away from talking about it. But in Thailand, they say, don't shy away from condoms.
Wow.
Go ahead.
That's actually a wise step.
Make sure to bring one. That's what they say.
Yeah, of course. That's very, very wise step, especially towards the teen. They're worrying about the HIV and the teen pregnancies. And of course, Valentine's Day, a lot of couples, they do a lot of naughty things or even fun things together. So to celebrate this beautiful day for couples and not worry about the consequences after all, it is wise the Thailand government comes with this campaign saying that don't shy away from condoms.
Yeah.
Go ahead, but then make sure you know what you're doing.
That's true. I mean, the thing is, Thailand has one of the highest rates of teenage pregnancy in Southeast Asia. This is according to the Bureau of Reproductive Health, and with number of teenage mothers second only to neighboring Laos. So, I mean, it's no-brainer that they would encourage Thai people to use the condom as an act to protect themselves against pregnancy and other diseases involving sexually transmitted disease.
In fact, let's say this campaign comes from the health authorities or the government, it can save and help a lot of disease to reduce a lot of diseases, especially HIV infection. When it comes to hygienic problems, this is really proven, and it was already done in the early 1990s, and that's according to World Health Organization.
That's true. So, I mean, I would definitely be like a Thai government and encourage it. But I think at the end of the day, it's all about love.
Yep.
On Valentine's Day.
In the name of LOVE, yes, for sure.
Okay, our final news of today before we end the show is about the Thai elephant attack, the recent one where it attacked a British man, which prompted that Thailand needs to take action over its elephant rights, tiger parks and primate shows.
Well, it seems to have a lot of news regarding elephants recently.
Yeah, and it started from unemployment among elephants.
Yeah, and now it comes to this news about elephant who attacked this British tourist, which is quite, I would say, a bit out of perhaps the mistake that the carer made it. However, of course, being attacked by the elephant, it's quite a danger, and also Thailand has a lot of elephant, and also it also attracts a lot of tourists into to view the elephants there.
That's true. Have you taken an elephant ride before?
I have. It's very interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, I did before when I was a child, but after seeing footages of how these elephants were being treated in their cages and how they were being forced to or being abused to learn certain tricks, do certain things, I don't think I would do any elephant rides anymore.
It's very cruel, right?
It's very cruel, and I think it's only time will tell that all these elephant will actually revolt against its master.
Yep.
And that's where you have a British tourist being killed and trampled by an elephant.
At the same time, it is also very important to educate tourists not to revoke all those animals, because sometimes they just want to have fun and they think that elephants are very tame animals. However, after all, they're all from the wild environment. environment. So they never know that the natural instinct will just come up and attack you or the other.
Yeah.
So it is also very important to be educated before you ride an elephant.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that you shouldn't do, certain things that you can, just to try on. So even for the people who take care of the elephants, really need to be, educated in that sense, before they enter the even tourist in to the zoo or even the elephant area. It's really need to be informed.
Completely agree with that. So before we end the show again, I want to wish everyone happy Valentine's Day.
And also, well, I hope you guys are very well fed during Chinese New Year.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then it's like whole week of holiday season apparently.
Yeah, especially in Malaysia, we are well known for public holidays. Anyway, if you want to catch up with us, don't forget to go to our social media site on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You will get the latest updates on Southeast Asia.
And also don't forget to visit us, our website, durianasean.com. And when you're on the go, you have no access to these two platforms, then do download our app, Durian ASEAN.